What's up guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am so excited to be doing my very first solo Q&A. Y'all, I don't know, I had never realized that I had never done a solo Q&A. The closest I had got to it was whenever I did like my answering my assumptions or answering your assumptions about me video. I think I did it like last year. That was like the closest that I got to doing a solo Q&A. But all the other Q&As on my channel have been with Dion, and they're usually like our marriage Q&A videos. And so I was like, okay, what better way to celebrate hitting 100K here on YouTube? Which, first of all, let me just go ahead and say thank you guys so much for all of the love and support, and for subscribing, and for all the kind words and congratulations. Y'all have been blowing me up, and I am just so thankful and grateful for all the support you guys have shown me, and just helping me reach my goal. Thank you y'all. Thank you y'all. And so I was like, I want to do something different and change it up for this video, and I was like, yeah, I think that a Q&A would be a great way for some of my newer viewers to really get to know me, you know, without Dion in the picture. Especially because on Instagram, I had asked for y'all to ask me anything. I said the juicier the better. Like, y'all let me know whatever you guys want to know about me. Of course, the appropriate things, but like whatever you want to know about, like, you know, life, womanhood, you know, entrepreneurship, balancing things, being a YouTuber, whatever. Like, I had asked for any kind of questions you guys would have, and I got a ton of responses, y'all. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I have, y'all, look at all these. Like, I have so many, so I honestly probably won't even get to all of them because it's a lot, but I will try my best to do as many as I can, and I'll try to do the ones that I feel are the most important to answer, and also the ones that I haven't answered anything like it remotely in the past, and that would give you guys a really good view into who I am. So the question is, how do you keep it spicy for hubby? Okay, so if you guys don't know, I've been married for 6 years. We just celebrated our 6th anniversary in January, but we have been together for 10 years. Yes, 10 years. It's been a long time. And I want to say me and Dion have made it a point in our relationship, especially whenever it comes to, you know, in the bedroom, and just not even in the bedroom, because I feel like keeping it spicy isn't just sex. Like, you know, that also involves, you know, date nights and just intimacy in general. And him and I are very big on changing it up. The reason why it's so important to us is because we're all grown, right? So we know how easy it is to get caught up in the day-to-day. Me and him are extremely busy. Like, I always say, I don't think there's like anyone that I know that is busier than me, besides my dad probably, but that's because I have a million things going on all the time, and so does he. You know, like, he's moving all the time too, and so it's really easy for us to get caught up in the same routine every day. And we have learned years ago the importance of changing it up. So like, we'll randomly go on a date night during the week, we'll go to the movies during the week, travel randomly whenever we want to. Traveling is a really good way to keep it spicy, because there's something about being in just a new environment, a new space, and just being y'all, you know what I'm saying? And then whenever it comes to like the bedroom stuff, like, that's just, let's just say we get creative, okay? But you got to, I mean, let's be real, y'all know what I mean. Like, the same hanky-panky all the time is not gonna cut it, okay? Okay, next question is, do you see yourself ever having kids of your own? I think so. I think that I've pretty much settled on the fact that I want to have at least one. Any more than that, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see how the one goes, but it's like, we always say that we'll have one in the possible. And I think that what it is, it's like the older that I'm getting, I'm like, oh, like, I would love to see like what a mixture of me and Dion would look like. Or like, I would love to see like what their personality would be. Or like how they would be in school. I don't know, like, I've been thinking about those things more recently lately, so we'll see what happens. Question is, how long have you been doing makeup, and when did you start wearing makeup? So I probably started wearing makeup like my sophomore-ish year of high school. I mean, of course I wore like lip gloss and stuff before then, but sophomore year is whenever I joined the dance team, and on the dance team we had to wear makeup like for our performances, so that was kind of like a way to kind of like convince my mom to let us start wearing it. But my mom was never really big into us wearing makeup at that young of an age. Back in the day, back then, all I would really do was like put on like some eyeshadow, and by eyeshadow I meant like a $2 palette from the beauty supply store. And I would like put on this like bright green or like bright blue or bright pink, bright purple. Like my eyeshadow matched my outfit, okay? And I would just put on eyeshadow, some mascara, and some lip gloss. That was all I would wear. And I probably did that routine like through freshman year college, y'all. It was literally just eyeshadow, mascara, and lip gloss. So shout out to my best friends in high school who always had makeup to let us borrow it, and we would just pass it around and use it and like look fly throughout the day. That was really what we did. Do you have veneers? Your teeth are really pretty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate it because no, I do not have veneers. I wore braces. I've mentioned it a bunch of times before, but I wore braces for, I think it was like almost 3 years, I think. I got it like at the end of 6th grade, and I wore it 6th grade, 7th grade, and I got it out like the end of the fall semester of my freshman year of high school. So I wore it about 2.5 years. It was the worst 2.5 years of my life. I hated it, but I knew that it was something that I needed to do to get my teeth to get them together because my teeth were jacked up, y'all. If you have seen my old school pictures on Instagram of me as a baby, then y'all know my gap was not, it was not letting me live. So I'm glad that I got it fixed, but no, I do not have veneers. Just good old braces. Is your hair relaxed or natural? My hair is doing its own thing. Honestly, okay, so the way, if I had to classify it right now, my hair would be transitioning per se. So I have relaxer on my ends. So I haven't had a relaxer in about 1.5 years. So all of my roots, of course, are all natural. The back of my hair is pretty much all natural now. It's just more so at the front where I have those relaxed ends, and that's more so because, of course, whenever I had to cut, my hair was longer in the front. So I'm like half and half at this point in time. I don't really care about labels when it comes to my hair anymore. It's just doing its own thing. Okay, next question is, have you ever had any non-surgical cosmetic procedures, i.e. Botox? That is a very good question. And yes, I have actually. So the only thing that I've actually ever had done was I actually, maybe like 2 years ago, I actually got filler under my eyes. It was very subtle. Like, it was nothing that changed my appearance drastically. Like, I wasn't trying to go for a whole different look or anything like that. But I did get filler under my eyes a couple years ago, mainly because I had just noticed like a sudden loss of volume there. I don't know like what happened. I feel like when I woke up and like my eyes just looked like I had only slept for an hour, but that was like every single day. Like, I feel like I was just looking tired all the time. And then also, because you guys know that I do have those darker spots under my eyes, I've had them for years now, so that made me look even more tired. And so I actually went in and got those plumped up a little bit. I just used like one syringe or whatever. Got most of it put under my eye, and then I got a little bit put here in my laugh lines just to soften them a little bit. I mean, obviously it wasn't enough to completely cure my laugh lines because I still obviously have them like right now. You can see them there, but I did get a little bit put in my laugh lines as well. Next question is, why don't you want to have children? I've actually never said that I don't want to have them. I have in the past questioned if I want them because I just loved my life. I honestly, you guys, I honestly just still love my life. Like, I don't feel like I'm at the point yet where I feel like something's missing, and until I get to that point, they'll be on pause, okay? How many times should a married couple have sex a month? Ooh, okay, so this is a real question. Honestly, it's very different for every single couple, and that sounds like very cliche, but trust me, if you have been married or if you are in the process of getting married, one of the biggest things that you will learn is to do what is right for your marriage and only focus on your marriage. Your marriage will not look like the next person's, and so on and so forth. So I won't speak on how many times just an average married couple should be having sex, because I honestly don't know. I mean, definitely I would say at least once a week. I can say that for me and Dion, honestly, if I'm being transparent, it fluctuates, you know? Some seasons are busier than others, and so sometimes you'll find yourself getting into a cycle, which is normal. It's just a matter of being very conscious of it and being able to break that cycle before it goes on too long and you find yourself in a place that you don't want to be at, which we've never Fortunately, we've never reached that point. Like with us, sometimes it may be like once a week, and then sometimes it could be like every day, sometimes even like 2-3 times a day. I'm just being honest, y'all. It honestly just depends on like your situation, but just don't let yourself fall into a cycle that you aren't comfortable with. Next question is, are you pursuing any more business/entrepreneur ventures? And the answer is yes. I have some things that I am working on this year that I am like super excited. Like I feel like I've never had so much clarity before in my life than I do right now. And y'all, this year is gonna be the year making moves. So yes, I am. Of course, I won't go into like what they are. You guys will just learn about them whenever they happen. But yes, I am. Okay, another question is, what's the most expensive thing you've ever splurged on? The most expensive thing, of course, besides like the actual house, but other than the house, was the fireplace. The fireplace was probably so far the thing that we splurged, or that we spent the most money on, was for sure the fireplace. And then non-house related, I would say, oh, I bought a Gucci purse a couple of years ago. And that was probably the single most expensive like item that I have purchased that I can think of. Another question is, will you walk for your MBA graduation? So as you guys know, I am in school, but I am doing an online program. And will I walk for it? I think I will. I'm still debating on it. Dion wants me to. My parents want me to. Part of me wants to. I think that I will. I'm like 70% sure that I actually will walk. But honestly, you guys, like, if I'm being honest, like whenever I graduated college, all I cared about was walking out of my last class and being done with school. And I did not really care much at all about walking. So, you know, again, with the MBA, I think I probably will, but that's still TBD. What was your dream career when you were younger? Y'all, I want to be everything. I mean, everything. But there's one that really sticks out to me in my mind, and that was that there was a huge point in time where I wanted to be a fashion designer. And it's crazy because I feel like reflecting on like the past, it's crazy to me kind of like how things are coming full circle, because whenever I was a child, I was always super creative. And I remember wanting to be a fashion designer so bad. Like I used to actually have a notepad that I used to carry around and like sit on the couch and like draw sketches and all the kind of stuff. Y'all, I want to be a fashion designer. There was a point in time where I wanted to be a songwriter. Actually, in my parents' house, I'm pretty sure I still have the notepad, like with the first song I ever wrote. So all of my career paths, for the most part, were more on the creative side. But then at some point along the way, I kind of lost that. And then, of course, went the more traditional route with, you know, going to college, getting an engineering degree, working in corporate America, and so on and so forth. But then it's like, here I am in my 20s, going back to creative Kyra and like doing makeup and filming content and starting businesses and like doing all these things. So it's really interesting to see like how things have come full circle. Next up is, how do you keep Kyra alive and thriving as a married woman, and how have you changed? Ooh, this is a good question. I would say that in all honesty, and I'm just being real, I've never struggled with keeping Kyra alive, if that makes sense. Even though me and Dion got married very young, whenever we were dating, we always tell people that for us, since our dating phase, we have always like maintained our individuality. That's always been very, very, very important to us. Like Dion is his person, I am my person, and then together we're a team. And I love that about my marriage. Like I love that. We are not codependent. My happiness does not rely on him. I don't need him to fulfill me, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I've traveled without him. I do things without him. I've gone to concerts. I've gone out to eat. I've done activities without him. Like I have friends outside of him, and I have a social life outside of him, and I feel like that has really helped me to maintain me, because, you know, like different people get a different side of you, right? So my husband, I always tell him that I feel like Dion is the only person that I believe knows me 100%. Okay, he's the only person who has seen the good, the bad, and ugly, the best, and the worst of me. The only person. He knows my triggers. He knows, you know, the things that make me upset. He knows the things that make me happy. Like, he knows all of that. However, I have friends who are like my turn-up squad. Like, whenever I want to have a good time, I know who to go to, okay? If I want to, like, drink wine and just chillax, I know my friends to go to for that. So I have friends and people around me for different things. And I feel like that has allowed me to remain myself, because it's like there are so many different facets to who I am. So I have circles and people around me to help me keep those parts of me alive, if that makes sense. So for me, I'd say that how I do it should just have a life outside of your significant other. And then how have I changed? The number one thing that has changed about me for sure with being married to my husband is I am now a lot more direct. I used to be the person who wouldn't want to say certain things because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, or because I cared more about their feelings than mine. But now I'm like, no. Especially as I'm getting older, I'm like, I care about my business. I care about my family. I want to just like get things done, and I need them done how I need them to be done, right? And so I'm very direct, very straightforward, and I don't tolerate foolishness. And that's probably the one thing that for sure has changed with being married to my husband, because he's also like, Dion's so blunt, y'all. So like, he has definitely rubbed off on me. Have you and Dion ever had a separation? That's a great question. No, we have not. Thank God, we have never gotten to that place. Now, have we had tough times? Of course. Have we had an argument? Of course. Have we had a blow up? Absolutely. It absolutely happens. You know, we have gone through our fair share of ups and downs for sure, but we've never gotten to the point to where it was like, okay, we need time off. You go stay somewhere else for a couple months, or I'll stay here, or we'll stay in different rooms in the same house. You know, like, we've never gotten to that point. Okay, another question says, do you ever wish you weren't an influencer, or do the negative comments ever get to you? I don't say that I've ever wished that I wasn't an influencer. At least I haven't got to that point yet. I love creating content. It's genuinely a hobby for me. Like, I genuinely enjoy it and I love it. I love being creative. I love sharing things. I love teaching things. Like, I just genuinely love that whole aspect of it. But does the negative comments ever get to me? I'd say about 90% of the time they don't. But I would also be lying if I said that it didn't. Okay? So, like, most of the time, honestly, and with being an influencer, the thing that you have to learn is that people are miserable, okay? Like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, there are people out there who are literally just miserable. Like, their life is not going how they want it to go. You know, they're stuck in a situation that they're not proud of. You know, they are insecure. They're unhappy. Their marriage is unhappy. And so people like to put their issues on you. So because they're unhappy or they're miserable, they want to make you feel the same way. I learned that very early on, which is why most of the comments I'll just scroll through and just be like, girl, whatever. Now, there are some that I'm like, okay, you trying me. But I just try my best not to let it bother me, because usually 9 times out of 10 they're trying to just put their stuff on you, and it's just life. It's just part of being an influencer, you know? Ooh, okay, good question. Next one says, what do you regret about marriage, or is there anything you would do differently? There is nothing that I regret, which I would say is a very good thing. There's nothing that I would change or do differently. Take that back. Okay, I don't regret anything, but if I could do something different, it would be that I would have learned how to self-reflect and put my pride to the side a lot sooner. Okay? Again, we've been married for 6 years, and probably like the first like 2.5 years, especially about the 1.5 year mark, me and Dion, we really struggled. But it was more so struggling with communication. We just could not get on the same page. Like, it was like everything, we were always bumping heads. And then it was like, at that point, it was a matter of, like, instead of it being more so trying to find a resolution, back then it was more so, let me prove to you that you're wrong, or let me show you why I'm right. Instead of, okay, we view this differently, so how can we compromise to get on the same page and resolve this issue? That's how we are now. Before, we were the former, okay? So that's why it was just like we could not communicate. And I was also very prideful. I also didn't know how to articulate my feelings. So like for me, I'm very non-confrontational, or naturally non-confrontational. So I would like shut down. Like if we were having a tough conversation, I would just like instantly shut down and be like, okay. That I would for sure do differently. But I don't regret anything per se, because I feel like all that is what helped us get to where we are today. Okay, next question. Worst fight you've had with your twin? There was a point in time in college, probably my sophomore year. Yes, my sophomore year. And we had just got our car. So we had, of course, shared a car in high school. And then our freshman year of college, we didn't have a car. And then our sophomore year, because we had moved to an off-campus apartment, we had got a car, but of course we were sharing it. And at that time, we had 2 different schedules. We were dating 2 different people. Like, they lived different sides of town. Like, it was to where, like, we both always needed the car, but we could never figure out how to share the car in a very healthy way. So, y'all, when I say that, we will argue all the time. Like, worse than, like, we argued more in the span of, like, a couple months than we had, like, our entire lives. I remember this one time that, she was supposed to come pick me up or something. I don't remember what had happened, but, like, she was supposed to come get me from campus or something like that, but, like, she had she left me stranded, or it was something stupid, and it was the worst. So, for sure, the worst fight we've ever had was revolving us sharing a car in college. Okay, next question. How did your twins' heartbreak affect you? I would say it was definitely tough. I mentioned before, so I won't go too deep into it, but it was definitely tough, especially because me and my sister, I feel like we feel each other's emotion. And so, especially during that time, like, of course, there was a lot of emotion going on, but especially during that time, like, it is really hard seeing someone that you love just cry all the time, like, calling you all the time about, like, what's going on, and you can't do anything about it. Like, that is probably one of the worst feelings in the world, because it's like, all you want to do is fix it, but it's like, you can't fix it. Like, you have to let her figure it out on her own. And that was a really, really, really hard time. Another question, what are some things that you would tell 21-year-old you? Oh, that's a good question. I would tell her to do not let anyone's opinions of what they think your life should be to interfere with you living the life that you really want to live. Make sense? I feel like it's so easy, and I feel like for me especially, I feel like for so long I was so focused on, like, trying to be a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way, do things a certain way, based off of how I felt others wanted me to do them and how I knew other people wanted me to do them, right? And that goes for everything. Everything from my love life to my faith walk to just being a student to being a friend. It was a lot of just doing things because of how I felt people wanted me to do them, and I wasn't being authentic and true to who I am. And I wish that I had realized that sooner. I feel like I would have avoided a lot of the mistakes that I had made if I had followed that through. Okay, next question says, I'm new to your channel, but I love it. How young are you, and what are your next goals in life? So I am 29. I'll be 30 this year, y'all. 30. Still young, still very much young. And what are your next goals in life? Honestly, I am on grind mode, okay? Like what I said earlier about year 2020 being the year of boss moves, I 100% mean it. Like, literally all I want to do is, like, just hustle. Like, that's literally all I can think about this year is just hustle, grind, work, and just be very, very tired right now so I can live the life of my dreams in the future. Like, me and Dion are so big. Well, I have like a million goals, mainly entrepreneurial goals that I cannot wait to tackle. And me and Dion have said consistently that one of our main priorities is building generational wealth, building something that we can pass down to our children, our children's children, and that we can also bring to people that we love into and like help them grow as well financially, you know, just career-wise. That is a huge, huge, huge goal of ours. Okay, next question is, what is the biggest thing you've had to compromise on in your marriage? That's a really, really, really good question, because I don't think there's anything that me and Dion have like really done since we've been married that was a huge compromise for either of us, if that makes sense. So I don't feel like anything has been like a huge compromise. I feel like, of course, it'd probably be moving to Austin so you could go to school, because, well, no, I'd say that's it probably, because, of course, Dion, we moved for him to go to school, and then he went to school full time. So that wasn't necessarily a compromise, but it was more so our biggest adjustment. I'd say that. More so our biggest adjustment, because it wasn't really something that we had planned, like when we got married. And so it's more so, okay, our plans have changed. I want to do this. So how can we make it work? And then, you know, we made it work. Okay, next question is, was there any doubt in your mind before saying I do? The answer is no. I never actually not once doubted, and I still to this day have not doubted getting married to my husband. Ever. So that's a no. Did your sister's divorce affect the way you view marriage? I don't think so. Actually, no, it did. I would say that, in all honesty, and I'm saying this because her and I have actually talked about this already, so she got knows what I'm about to say. I would say the one thing that it showed me was the value of putting your marriage first, and the value, or not the value, the importance of putting your marriage first, and the importance of taking time out for the two of you. That situation made me realize, like, yo, like, that really is super important, okay? Like, we gotta keep this up. We gotta keep this going, you know, pouring into our marriage, you know, to keep it thriving. How are we with, or how am I should say, with Breland's mom? I'd say, okay, I mean, we're cordial. There's no bad blood. There is no anything. No hostility. We've never had any drama. Thank God. It has been a pretty smooth ride for the most part. And we've never had any bad situations. So I'd say it's good. Are we friends? No. But that's just normal. Like, we don't need to be friends for us to have a healthy co-parenting situation. And also, the important part is that Breland is happy. She's healthy. You know, she has the best of both worlds. And, you know, our situation is about as good as, I feel like it's about as good as it can get, you know, for co-parenting. Okay, next question is, what is your favorite ratchet twerking song of all time? Hands down for sure, Back That Up by Juvenile. For sure. Is your full-time job not as demanding as you are able to also do entrepreneurship? I guess the answer would be yes, that it's not as demanding, but I still work and work very hard. I'm not working 80-hour weeks, okay? I'm not working 60-hour weeks. I work a straight 40-hour week from 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5:30, whatever it is. I log in, I work, I log off, and I do other stuff. So I'd say it's not as demanding as other careers, but I definitely still work very hard, if that makes sense. What kind of car do you drive, and what's your dream car? A Mazda CX-5, a very simple car. I love it. My dream car, though, it used to be a Range Rover, and I think it still may be a Range, but I was looking at them recently, and I'm so underwhelmed. And I think that what it is because it's like, my current car has pretty much everything that a Range has, just like not as fancy. And I'm not quite sure in my heart if I think that like one or two extra features is going to be worth like doubling the price of it. I don't know. My thoughts about money is like growing over time. And I don't know yet. I don't know. But I would say as of now, my dream car is still a Range. It's just a matter of, I don't know if I still think a Range Rover is worth it. Okay, and then my last question is going to be, did you ever wonder if Dion wasn't the one for you? Well, that's a good one. I had mentioned about how I've never regretted, not a single day, saying I do, ever. Now, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. There are moments like whenever he does stuff like eat, let's say, first of all, Dion's a health freak, okay? So like small things that just like grind my gears. Like if I buy snacks for me, and I say specifically for me because like I'll buy snacks for him, right? Like snacks that are healthy, you know, that I know he's gonna love. And then I'll buy like snacks that I like, you know, cookies, chips, whatever, for me, that like in my head I'm thinking, oh, he won't eat these. And then I go into the cabinet to go get them and they're all gone because he ate them all. Moments like that make me question like, ooh, like, do you want to do this for the rest of your life? Or like whenever he doesn't change the empty wall toilet tissue, or just like small things like that make me question. But I've never questioned being married to him because I knew very early on that Dion was my soulmate. Now, even during those tough times, those rough times where we have struggled, I've still never once questioned if he was the one for me, or if I want to stay in this marriage, or if I want to leave, or, you know, maybe this wasn't the guy that God had for me. Like, I've never questioned that because, like I said, I knew very, very, very early on that Dion was my soulmate. Like, very, very early on. So, because of that, and because we've made it so far, and we've been together for so long, and just because of how I know, how I feel around him, and, like, how much love I have for him, and like how happy he makes me, and just like the team and the unit that we've become, I don't think that I can even foresee us or foresee me questioning that in the future. It's just something like, you know, and like even in those hard times, like you still know, like, dang, like I'm fighting with him, but I also know that there's no one else that I'd rather fight with but him. So you guys, that is it for this Q&A video. I genuinely hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of personal questions, and I honestly didn't even get through a lot of them just because, again, there were so many so many questions, which I appreciate, but hopefully I hit the ones that I think that you guys would be the most interested in, and then also give you guys good insight into who Kyra is. Oh no, there is one more thing. So to celebrate hitting 100K, I wanted to go ahead and do a giveaway for you guys. I have a huge box here, literally a huge box here of makeup. It is stacked full of makeup. It's stacked full of makeup from amazing brands like Laura Mercier. I have some Pixie in here. I have some Garnier in here. I have some Black Radiance. I have some Urban Decay. I have some The Balm. Woo, it is a lot of good stuff. And I definitely want to share it with you guys. So this giveaway will have 2 winners. First of all, subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram. So you have to do both of those things. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Instagram, and then leave a comment down below with your Instagram handle. Okay, so you have to include the Instagram handle just to confirm, or just so I can confirm that you are following me. I can check the, check the handle, and let me know what is one of your biggest goals for 2020. Like, y'all know this is a year of big moves, so let me know down below what is one of your biggest goals for 2020. Super simple, super easy, and there will be 2 winners. So hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.